This is a reading video for Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic, episode 18, 19, and 20. A 3-episode reaction. Click in the link in the description below. Actually, hold on. I forgot to pull it up. Click in the link in the description below to go watch my reaction, and then come back here to see my full thoughts, ideas, and theories about these episodes and what's going to come next, that kind of thing, in my eyes and my theories and everything. So, click away now, or be spoiled as to what happened in these episodes. Okay, so very cool that we're actually going back into a dungeon, because they've been talked about, and we've seen only one dungeon so far in the actual series. So I'm very interested to see what the differences are between the two dungeons that we're entering now. Well, yeah, comparing the two dungeons we've been into. We've seen the one where Alibaba got his dungeon weapon, basically. We've seen kind of like a little bit about how it works and that kind of thing, and the inside and what it looks like, and so on and so forth. But it's gonna be interesting to see what the differences are, because I'm wondering if they're all like the same, or are they all like unique and different kind of thing. It seems like this one in particular is pretty unique because it doesn't have a tower. That's one big thing that I noticed, was like all the dungeons that we've always seen have always been like giant pillars, like giant towers, and like just out of the ground kind of thing. So this one in particular doesn't have that. It's just like a little building that kind of like literally like tendrils come out, grab you, and pull you in. So I'm interested to see what the differences are there. If this is a dungeon or not. Like if this might be just like something different that's not a dungeon kind of thing. Like maybe just it's some kind of like something that like is trying to lure you in kind of thing, like with the temptation of having the artifact that can like heal all wounds, that kind of thing, right? Like something that can revive or rejuvenate you, or like something like that, like something like very like, the garden, no, not the Garden of Eden, the Fountain of Youth, that kind of stuff, like just like this, the idea of something like that makes you want to go search for it, and then you get anywhere close to the building, and the building just literally grabs you and rips you in, kind of thing. So we know it's part of the whole dungeon world thing, whatever, because they like literally at the very end we saw Alibaba looking at the world with the lights and stuff on it, that we've seen in the past, kind of thing. And in the I guess the Magi world, sort of the Jin world. So that sort of world. So it's obviously a portal there, but it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. Instead of having like the pillar shooting up with like a doorway that they literally just voluntarily walk through, this is instead like a building, some kind of whatever, up on top of a mountain, and they're like down below like the mountain, like on the boats kind of thing, and it like starts like glinting, whatever, and they're like, oh, what's that? And then all of a sudden like tendrils come and grab them, like up there, kind of thing. So they're super far away from it, and it still came in and grabbed them and yanked them in. So it's definitely a different kind of dungeon, because from my knowledge it's always been like voluntarily, you can voluntarily go in there if you wanted to. But yeah, it's going to be definitely interesting to see what happens in there. So yeah, I do expect them to actually succeed and conquer the dungeon. I think it's going to be maybe a case of either Morge getting it, or maybe the prince, the new prince, the kind of guy with like the scar on his like half face. Oh, I'm yawning. I don't see Alibaba getting a second one. I mean, he could generally get a second one, because that's what Sinbad has, like however 7 or something like that, whatever. So he could get 2 of them, but like I'm thinking Morge might like one. I don't see Aladdin getting any. Maybe make friend with it, kind of thing. Like that's like your only rule kind of thing is like be my friend. And it's like be just like Ugo, just like a friend that comes out every once in a while to help out. But yeah, I'm super interested to see what happens. Um, I'm still have my like slight suspicion over the prince, um, but I feel like that's just like I'm just like skeptic for being skeptic. I guess I don't know, because like I'm sure he's genuinely he hates like the kingdom that he's part of, whatever. He wants to destroy it, something like that, or whatever like that. But I feel like there's something there. Like there could be something there where like he's maybe gathering information, trying to gain people's trust, and so on and so forth, and using that information to conquer this little place for the kingdom that he represents, kind of thing. So um, I don't know, but that's just a small percentage in my mind of what could happen, but it's there. It's like maybe a 5% chance like of that happening. But we know his sister. The prince's sister was the one that was uh going to attack the place that Aladdin was at with the horse people, the horse guys. Um, so that the priest or not priest princess they're brother and sister. So it's and I liked her because she was very genuine. Like she was good. Like she was a good heart kind of thing. So that's what Aladdin saw in her too as well. Um, the Ruch was like kind of flying around her kind of thing. And then her whole battle kind of thing to protect the people that she was there to conquer in a way, not like conquer, but like try to convert, to their part kind of thing. So I'm interested to see if this prince is like her in a way. I know he looks evil kind of thing, like with his like half face, like his different pupil eyes, whatever. Um, I mean, they're a little bit different. I mean, they're pretty much the same, but I think the wound on him maybe messed with his iris a little bit or whatever. I was trying to think of like what that part of it. I can't remember what it is. Hold on, let me look it up because I'm ignorant. I'm not. Um, uh, the eyeball. Ball. There we go. Jesus. Eyeball. Um. Okay. Let's see. This doesn't help at all. there was like the color of his eye, that bit. Like that's trying to remember. Can't remember if how it's not the iris. Because the iris is. God, why am I forgetting this? Okay, yeah, okay. I was right. It was iris. Okay, it was the pupil that I thought was like I don't know. I'm just dumb, I guess. I was mixing the two, the iris and the pupil. Um. Anyways, his iris, it seemed a very plain and flat color, matte color kind of thing, like just like one color. Or this eye, that guy, kind of like with one color, and then his other eye was just like a normal eye, has like actual like cloudiness to it, and there's like depth to it, kind of thing. There's like a little bit there. Um. When we first saw him, I thought he had like orange eyes or yellow eyes kind of thing, and I was like, I looked at him like, whoa, kind of like weirded out by it as well, but like not as much because they had one of the girls, um, during the generals, or one of the generals, I should say, she have like black eyes with like I think pink, like a little kind of pink circle around her eye. She's like got cool eyes. I like her. And her power is cool too. Able to literally speak to beasts and such. Like she's a beast tamer. Like that is so freaking cool. You only see that really in like video games, really, like just like video games, like people who have that ability, kind of thing. I was trying to think of like if any other anime had like a beast tamer in it, other than like My Hero Academia. There's like kind of like a beast guy, but Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. For some reason, I expected him to be, or I thought for a second that person from My Hero Academia, um, was a thing about bugs, but that was just like his fear. But yeah, he can talk to animals and such too. Um, we haven't really seen too much on him, so I'm not sure. But anyways, he's there. And then I'm trying to think of like way back on all the anime I've seen. I think potentially there was something in Fairy Tail. Potentially, can't remember. um, um, Jesus, I need like a list of like I need to put on my wall up here, like of every single anime I've ever seen on the show, and then just go down the list of like every single thing about it. Because I have a lot of wall space up here, but I don't only have it for my schedule thing that I have of all my week to week stuff kind of thing. But I need like a big thing on my wall, just like everything I've done, just to remind myself. Because there's a lot of shows that I always forget like that I did until I remember them again. So that's the thing with me with my memory. For those of you wondering, is I know people always ask me like about my memory and everything and why it's so bad. Um, Typically my memory like fades from me until I remember. So okay, so thinking of a certain scenario or something like that. Um, those come easy because the idea of that scenario is there. Like so, it's like a little small like hint like towards that scenario, I will immediately remember it. But if there's no hint, like no nothing about like the scenario, it's like it's very tricky to kind of get that memory back, kind of thing. Like I know, like in Kenichi, like just like the hint of Kenichi, like the anime kind of thing, I can think of like a couple of the big battles and everything, but a lot of the little stuff I can't really remember too much until like the little tiny small hint, like one of the main characters and one of the side characters talking. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that kind of thing. So like it's kind of weird like thing with my mind. It's really strange. Like for instance, for Magi, I remember since I'm watching it, everything in the show is pretty much clear to me. Little bits here and there from the early stuff that I've kind of like put in the cabinet for later kind of thing that I not have to bring it out. But that's kind of like kind of my mind works for some reason. And it's weird. And for names, it's horrible. My name category, my name shelf, my name like drawer is horrible. Like I names are hard like for me for no reason other than the fact that I'm just bad at names. Anyways, there's a lot of cool characters that we met in these episodes. The generals and stuff like that. They're really really cool. The girl who can talk to the animals, or no, not talk to you, but tame the animals and such. She's really cool. We had a dragon guy who apparently wasn't a dragon to begin with. He was a human, but he turned into a dragon. So I'm really interested about him. And then we had a giant, basically, like he's like a Nord, kind of thing like that. Like I'm trying to think of the different analogies to describe him, but he's like a giant, basically. An Amazon. And so, I'm trying to think of different words. Anyways, we have him. Then we have the mage, and then we had the sword wielder, sword master, whatever you want to call him. They're pretty cool. Then we had obviously the redhead who was training with Morge and everything, and then we had the assassin and everything. It was really cool to know that he was an assassin, and it seemed like he was like a bloody assassin. Like he just like literally murdered everybody. From like the little small flashback we had like of his eyes and everything like that. With his like covered in blood sort of thing. Am I missing anybody? So we have the assassin. We have the gladiator. He was a gladiator. I guess he used to use a sword, but then he fell off of that, and now he's just kind of like a kickboxer, sort of kind of fighting style. So yeah, those two we met previously. Basically, we had the dragon guy, we had the giant, we had the dragon. No, I just said it. Okay, so assassin, gladiator, dragon, giant, Then we had the little girl who can tame beasts. Then we had the sword master, what do we call him, and then the mage. Pretty sure it's all seven. Yes. So it's really cool to see all of them. It's really cool. It's gonna be interesting to see if we get any backstory with them in particular. Um, so yeah. So all of them are household. Oh my god. See, that's the thing. I I forgot the name of like what they called their helpers, the people who conquer dungeons. Um, and somebody like commented about like oh, you're so dumb, you forgot the names. Like, look, there's so much going on. um, household vessel. I believe that's what it was. I'm pretty sure it's household vessel. Um, because like Morge got one. She has her chains that she used to wear on her feet and everything. I think it's interesting that she's using it for her bracelets. I thought it might have been better for her to use it as the ankle, the way it's meant to, like, well, not meant to, but like the way it was originally for her legs, kind of thing. I think it's really interesting that she's using it as bracelets, but like the way she uses like her kick fighting and that kind of thing, like, and the way she like jets around really quick and everything. I think it'll be really interesting to see if she actually did use them on her ankles and then use it as like a whip kind of thing. Like, 'cause she's really quick with her feet, kind of thing. So I'm not sure how fast she is with her wrists, because like I can definitely see her on the ankles being able to like jet into combat real quick, do like a quick spin, and having those chains be like whips or like it's whatever, like the ability to just like spin around super freaking quick like in the air, and then just that chain coming in and just like hitting kind of thing. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what she can do. I hope she gets more skilled in the art of fist fighting. I know she kind of a bit did fist fighting here and there, but mostly she's been doing kicks and such. Because that's like her strong suit. That's like her strong, bit, whatever. So I'm interested to see what she does with her household item kind of thing. It's really cool that we got to see the transition between two dungeon items. Alibaba had to change his weapon because his weapon broke, kind of thing. So he chose a new weapon, which happened to be, I guess, part of his, or what was given to Sinbad by Alibaba's dad, the king, at the time. Had a cool dragon hilt and stuff on it. The whole blade's like really cool looking. So he grabbed it, and then all of a sudden his other weapon, like the one that broke, kind of thing, just automatically just like changed over. So that's really cool. So now he has the new blade basically, and it's not broken anymore, but it looks like it can still, or it functions just as well, kind of thing. I'm interested to see if he can still talk to his Jinn. Because that was one thing he said before, like he couldn't hear his Jinn anymore, kind of thing. But I'm wondering if that is because of the infection, or the curse, whatever you call it, like on him and Sinbad, kind of thing. I'm wondering if that is blocking his like ability to talk to his Jinn. I'm not entirely sure. Who knows? I've also always wondered if Sinbad has always been able to talk to all 7 of his Jinn, basically. I'm not sure if all 7 are dungeon items. I'm assuming they are, but I'm also wondering if a couple of them might be household vessels. So I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm not sure if it has been said or not, but I'm assuming they all are Jinn weapons, because the whole thing about him traveling around the world, conquering these dungeons by himself, while Jadar has been like putting them up, because like Jadar's been putting them up so that way the generals of the army can go there and conquer them, so they can have a dungeon weapon, basically. But instead, Sinbad went there, conquered it, and left. Kind of thing. So like he kind of swooped in, took it, and then left, kind of thing. So that's pretty interesting that he was able to do that, and Jadar doesn't really care too much, I guess. He calls them names and that kind of thing, so I know they have some kind of history, but I'm wondering like how far back it goes. But regardless, it's gonna be really cool to see this new Jinn kind of thing that can heal wounds and such. Like I'm wondering if it is going to be able to succeed in healing this like corrupted form or whatever, corrupted whatever. Also, I'm still not 100% sure if the guy who issued the curse on them, still not 100% sure if he's part of this organization that they were talking about. The Althurman. Yes, the Althurman. I'm not sure if this guy's part of them or not. Because the reason why I say that is because going back to the I think like last group episodes, whatever, with the big battle kind of thing, with all the whole city basically attacking everything. When he summoned like the cloud in the sky that like had like a dark impact on everybody. There was the banker who was like doing something, like he was almost like calling like those spirits on his side kind of thing, all the ruh. And then all of a sudden he appeared behind him and then like snatched him up kind of thing, like he just like put him back into like a bottle or whatever. So I know the banker is part of the Althurman, but I don't know about this guy. Like I'm still questioning like what his allegiance is, other than just like pure chaos. Like way worse than anything else. So that's kind of in my head right now. Is like I'm trying to think of like if any kind of detail that he has talked about kind of given way to what his allegiance is. I'm not sure. He always talks about father and such, so I'm wondering about that as well. But I'm wondering if he was mentioning the king or was it mentioning something else? Like, because I know some people usually call like, the All Father, like the gods, whatever like that, or like some kind of person in general who's like a hierarchy kind of thing, like calling him father. Even though they're not like blood related, they're not actually father and son, but they say father just as a title. So I'm wondering about that as well. Just a lot of things. So I think that's it for now. Tune in next week for 5 episodes, the final 5 episodes of season 1. Then we do have 25 episodes after that to finish up Magi. So there you have it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week for some more Magi. Take care, buddy.